I have my guest in front of me. Her name is Safiétou Seck, and she is from the lovely Senegal. How are you doing?
I am very good, thank you.
Excellent. Safiétou Seck, bienvenue à Arts Africa.
Merci, thank you very much.
Nous sommes l'émission de radio qui met en valeur l'excellence africaine.
Excellent.
Comment s'est passée votre semaine?
Ma semaine s'est très bien passée. Should we say it in English, French? It's okay. It's as you want.
Mais
French?
c'est très important d'apprendre d'autres
N'est-ce
langues.
pas? Yes.
C'est très important. Listen, all you Ghanaians sitting there, we are surrounded by francophone countries. And, you know,
Yes.
it's very good because if not, if Safietou and I had decided to hold this conversation in French,
Yeah.
we'd all be lost. So tell me, how has your week been?
Oh, my week has been very good, hectic. Yeah, because you know what? I missed my flight to actually come here.
Okay.
Yes,
so
but
what
I made
happened?
it.
What
I made it.
happened?
Oh gosh, for some reasons, traffic is crazy right now back home in Dakar. And whether you leave 2 hours, 3 hours, 5 hours before,
If
you know,
get
it
stuck
just
in traffic?
yes, it just depends on the hour of the day, and the plane was leaving on the wrong time. Well, not on the wrong time, but I mean, according to the context of traffic,
Yes.
So yeah, I missed my flight. But the thing is,
Did you go rushing up and you got to the because like when I've missed flights, I missed a flight in Venezuela one year. I cried for them. I cried. I sat on the floor. I wept as if my whole life depended on
Oh,
it.
gosh.
And they felt so sorry
Oh,
for
gosh.
me and found me
No.
the nearest available flight.
yeah, I had to keep calm
Yes.
and find a solution. But usually, because I travel a lot, I do things by anticipation. Like
Okay.
I never travel and the next day I have an event, just in case something happens.
Okay, so
you
you
know.
give yourself a little
Exactly.
bridge to
Exactly.
balance yourself just
Exactly.
in case things
Exactly.
don't happen the
Exactly.
way. Excellent.
So that has allowed me, to take another plane and to come.
Excellent.
Yes.
Before we go into it, what was the main thing that's brought you to Ghana?
I'm a fashion designer, and I have a clothing line. The name of the clothing line is Sahaya,
Sahaya.
and which was created like about 6 years ago. And
Do you have a show on?
yes. I have a show. I have a show tomorrow, and before that, I came to Ghana, to explore, and the response is amazing.
Excellent.
So I was like, I had the opportunity to come to the show, and I was like, well, that's even better.
Yes,
Because my
you
Ghanaian
you can get the word
sisters,
out.
yeah,
Yes, you can get
are
the
so
word
open
out.
to the brand. So why not? I'm gonna organize a show tomorrow.
Okay, so before we delve into the show and your fashion brand and everything, whenever I have a guest on here, I like them to read something for me because I think what people read gives you a good idea of, their psyche, where they're coming from, and, reading habits give you a good idea. So what are you reading for us today?
I came into across this Ghanaian American writer. She's a woman. And the name of her, it's a book, it's a memoir. And the name of it is Willow Weep for Me.
Willow Weep
For me, a black woman's journey through depression.
That's a heavy,
That's a heavy one.
yeah.
But I don't want to start off very, on the dark side, because you'll see that actually that brought me to something amazing. But
Well, the thing is, life is hills and valleys. If you don't go to that valley, you cannot
Absolutely.
enjoy the
Absolutely.
beauty from that hill.
Absolutely.
So, read the passage
So,
that
yeah.
captivated you.
Yeah.
most.
So it says here, the illusion of strength has been and continues to be of major significance to me as a black woman. So one myth that I have had to endure my entire life is that of my supposed birthright to strength. Black women are supposed to be strong, caretakers, nurturers, healers of other people. emotional hardship is supposed to be built into the structure of our life. It seems that suffering for a black woman was part of the package.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that resonates a lot into me.
As you were reading it, I was like, damn, I had a conversation about this 2 days ago. This thing where women are expected to take pride in, and the strength that we are expected to have is putting up with BS.
Yes.
It's not the strength that drives us forward, it's the strength for putting up with nonsense.
Exactly.
You know?
Yes.
Every word she said there is true.
Absolutely. But, it depends, I guess. What happens to you depends on what you make of it.
Well, yes.
As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned.
I think on an individual level,
yes,
yes,
absolutely.
But when
I
you
agree.
think of when you're living in, and especially for black women, this thing about strength is not a burden that other women have to carry. You know, this stereotypical thing of the strong black woman, and I think it causes an awful lot of damage when people try to live up to
Absolutely.
that thing.
I think that I've been talking to a lot of women or people, who've been through, depression, and I went through it. But as I say to myself, in order to heal, I was like, okay, either you use it, in your journey, and you make yourself stronger, and you make whatever you do stronger, or you just stop everything. So that was my...
And the strength is on your own terms and not other people's...
Yeah, on my own term, and especially on my, as I said, on my journey, because my brand, my clothing brand...
You know what? You cannot give that secret
Yes.
away. We are... that reading there, what's the title again? Because I'm going to go and look for this.
So the title is Willow Weep for Me.
Willow Weep for Me.
A Black Woman's Journey Through Depression.
I'm going to look for that because I'm sure there'll be a lot of nuggets in there.
Yeah.
So once again, welcome to the
Thank
show.
you. Happy to be here.
Thank you. We're really happy to have you here. You know you are my first non-Ghanaian guest.
Oh, wow.
I love the fact that you flew in. It's
Wow.
international jet setting. It's really exciting.
So honored.
Okay. So I read on social media that you founded Sahaya in 2015. So the moment I read it, I thought, what happened in 2015? What was the inspiration? What it was that culminated in the birthing of this wonderful brand?
So, well, it didn't take just a day or just a year. It took a lifetime.
It never does.
Yep.
I mean, on the media, they try to give this impression that,
Yes.
success, it just happened.
Yes,
but
no.
there's years of hard work.
It took a lifetime. I have always been a fashion designer, I think, since a very, very, very tender age. A very young age.
But then you were in finance.
Yeah, because the African context is very difficult. Being a fashion designer is not a job. In order for you to be accepted in the society, wherever you go, you have to be, I don't know, a minister of finance or a doctor
lawyer,
or something
engineer.
like that.
It's like the usual African story.
Exactly. So socially, no, it's not something that will have come very easy. So I had to choose, an area where, I will somewhat, where I will somewhat be, I guess, accepted if I,
Was that also to please your parents?
Yeah,
as
to
well?
please the parents. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So I decided to be an economist.
Okay.
So I went to school for that, and then I went and studied in the US, and but it has always been into my mind, but I did not have the courage to do it, and the environment was very difficult, to actually do it. So, but it was always in my mind, because when I was in the US, I opened a store in Georgetown, which is a very highly visited, street.
Where is it? In
Where
New York?
sorry, in Washington D.C.
In Washington.
And I
Okay.
opened a store, and the response was so positive, and I was like, you know what? Why don't you just go back home and do it there? You know. So, which I did, but then I got cold feet. I didn't do it. So I ended at the American Embassy, and then like
Okay,
you would
so
be.
then you went into diplomacy.
Yes. No. Well, at the American Embassy, I was working at the economic specialist, so I was
Okay.
still in my field.
Okay.
I was still in my field. And then we say in English, in French, chasse le naturel, il revient au galop, meaning you can chase away, what you like,
Your natural
but
inclination.
you're not, yeah, but it's gonna come back and tap you on your shoulder and say, hey, I'm here.
Yes.
And as I said, it's a walking process of so many things.
So tell me a little bit about the fears, the fact that you've gone to the US, something has been successful, you come back home, and then you like, okay, no, I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
What walk us through those? What is it?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I'm coming back to the environment from the beginning that did not allow me to. So it was the same environment. Yeah.
But something led you to come back. Why were you having that success in Washington? And this environment, for want of a better phrase, chased you away.
Yeah.
But you still came back.
Yeah. I mean, the environment in the US, I work for it, and I succeeded into that. But then the environment in Africa is different. You have to walk, into that environment also,
Yeah.
to make people, accept.
Yes.
Because as I said, it's about a mentality that people has, and I'm like, okay, I went in the States, and then I come back as an economist, and then I want to go into fashion design. It's the whole process, to convince, people. But I was still planning to do it. I
Yes.
just needed to have time,
Find the right moment.
find the right moment, to do it. And then I thought, okay, that's it, and so many reminders people would tell me, and people would love what I wear,
Yes.
and people would tell me,
Because what
please,
you're wearing now is like really beautiful.
thank you. And so and I thought, Safi, you were brought into the earth to do this, honestly, and you keep chasing it away. So you really have to get up and do it.
But it didn't leave you alone.
It did not leave me alone. And then, like in 2000, the trigger,
Yeah.
the big trigger,
Yeah.
was President Obama and his wife visit to Senegal.
Oh yes.
So I was still working at the American Embassy,
Okay.
and I was part of the logistic that was taking care of, the presidential couple, and so I was like running all around the place and
Making
trying
sure
to make
everything-
into everything. And
Yes.
this lady who is in the presidential team, I believe was Mrs. Obama assistant, comes to me, and she's like, "Oh, we love your dress. Mrs. Obama will have love to have your dress. Where did you get it from?" Yeah, and that was definitely the trigger.
Michelle Obama
Yeah,
wanting
yeah.
something of yours would definitely be a
Yeah.
very big trigger.
I mean, it wasn't her actually telling me, but it was her assistant who saw me, and directly, told me, she would have loved to have your dress. And I was like, I mean, I didn't right away because I was under stress, but then when I went back home, I said, that's it.
I mean, one thing I've noticed is that you model your own clothes as well,
Yeah.
which I think is amazing because you don't often see that.
Absolutely. And this is the reason why, when you start something and you are not necessarily prepare financially to do it, well, you just use whatever you have.
Yes.
And I had me.
Yes.
So,
That was
you know,
it.
I
Well,
just.
and then of course you're constantly advertising if you're
Yes,
wearing
absolutely.
your
You
own
have to.
clothes.
I mean, if you do something, you really have to show that you believe in it. You just
Yes, of
don't do it
course.
because you want money, you want to make money out of it, because it is not the idea of.
And I mean, it
really.
was interesting because you were working at the US Embassy, but then you were doing it like as a side hustle, you know?
Yeah, just for
to
me. Actually, no. Actually, you know what? It's strange. I was not doing it for sale or whatever. I would just do it and wear it myself. That's it. It wasn't at all a business at all. I was just, and in Senegal we have so many tailors everywhere. So we like Senegalese people to basically do uh, sew things for ourselves. So we have a lot of tailors and we give them to tailors. So I was doing it, not necessarily thinking about something big like this. I was just doing it and I would just wear myself. And people ask me, where did you get it from? Where did you get it? Constantly, until what happened with the.
until Mrs. Obama
Yes,
took an
visit.
interest.
Yep. And I was like, no, wait. You really have to do something
Because that's
about
a
it.
huge
Yeah,
endorsement.
the visit was in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
So I left like a year later. It took time, but I left. And then this company was created legally in November 2014.
Okay.
And 2015, I opened the door.
Nice.
Yeah, I opened the
Nice.
door. Saraya.
Mm.
Yes.
What does Sahaya mean?
Saraya is a name of a region in East Africa
Okay.
that produces gold. And gold is precious,
Yes.
and women are precious for me. And
Where in East Africa is
in,
this?
in east of Senegal, I'm sorry.
I was wondering. I was like,
Sorry.
Yes.
So glad you asked me. East of Senegal.
uh-huh.
Around, you have Kédougou, which is a region, and
Okay.
Saraya is a department. We call it a département.
Like a
In
region.
yes, exactly, within that region.
Mm-hmm.
And Saraya is Saraya with one A. I added another A for Africa, because I work on African
Gold.
on African elements,
Uh-huh.
like on my jacket. This is African, but it's a tradi modern fashion line, meaning that I use African products. The cuts are modern, but the element that I'm using,
Like the
I'm using,
fabrics
yes,
and
it can be
and
the fabric,
fabrics,
it can be
the buttons,
the buttons,
those,
exactly.
those kind of things.
So I really want to put on the table what what Africa can bring.
But in a very sort of high couture,
Oh, absolutely.
modern.
Absolutely, because I consider that Africa is already by itself high end, because when we talk about
Yes.
craftsmanship,
Yes.
this is the hand that work, and it takes time, and it's not necessarily done by the machine.
Because
So
you think of our
yes,
goldsmiths and our
absolutely,
carvers
absolutely,
and
and
women making indigo.
yes,
and
indigo, and it takes time to do it.
Yeah.
So it takes time to do it, and also it's a high-end brand because I'm using elements that are rare in themselves. When you don't have a lot, well, that's the law of the economy.
Yes.
Prices are
It's something that there's an exclusivity to it.
exclusivity to it. Absolutely. So it is. Yeah, the brand is very, very exclusive. It is very exclusive, and also I'm using, elements, ingredients that are locally made. Also,
That's
it's a combination of many things, and you have a lot of modernity because it's for the woman that is very active, that is running, going upstairs, downstairs, and driving her car. So it's convenient also for the woman.
high end but convenient because
Very
often
convenient.
because
Yes.
often you don't those two don't work together.
Absolutely,
You know, you
exactly.
see high fashion and you think, how is this person walking in this thing? How, constantly having to
Exactly.
think of,
Thank you. Exactly.
managing it.
And I'm a woman myself. So, yeah, and I have had those challenges. How to be, one, comfortable in your clothes,
Yes.
whether you run, whether you go, you take the plane, and
And when you get off the plane to look fresh.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. To look fresh. And also, it's not a brand that is meant to replace whatever other women have already. It completes
It
whatever you have already.
complements
It
what you
complements
yes.
exactly whatever you have already. You see? Because you can be, sometimes, looking for things to wear and you don't see it. Also, you have a lot, but you don't see it. But this is just, okay, you have already something on you. You just add it on and that's it. You're gone.
I think what you're saying is true, because I think an awful lot of times people see things and they buy them, but they don't think of how things work within their wardrobe.
Exactly.
Like, if I take this white t
Mm-hmm.
shirt, I
Mm-hmm.
can wear it with this, I can put this jacket on, I can throw this scarf on, I can do this. But things are bought just for themselves and not about how they incorporate with everything else in your wardrobe.
Absolutely. 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 You are exactly where I
Okay.
am.
Okay. And I'm not a fashion
Hey,
person at
wow.
all.
Amazing.
I'm not a fashion person at all, but I read quite a bit. I'm going to be very nosy. You read something about depression.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that.
Well, I cannot talk about my brand without talking about depression because it is part of my journey.
Uh-huh.
I have been through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing how my brand, my the pieces that people have liked the most were done when I was in the deepest, on my lowest in my depression.
Mm.
Oh yeah, my creativity
Gee,
was
was
blossoming. I mean, it's amazing
I
to
think.
me. Yeah.
How did you know you? How did you know you were depressed? Because one, I think in our part of the world, the issues of depression are a sort of a bit of a taboo. We don't want to face mental health challenges. And I think everybody goes through bouts of depression. It can be very mild, but you hit a point where, you don't want to get out of bed and, those kinds of things. How did you know you were depressed?
Thank you so much for asking that question. I mean, you don't know what you're doing right now because usually people don't ask that question. Um, Sadness.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even recognize yourself. Um, you are not yourself anymore. You can't see people. You put yourself away from people. You sleep a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been that raw talking about depression. This is the first time, and I'm really thanking you for that. And people need to know because maybe somewhere somebody
Mm.
is going through this,
But they don't know the
but they don't
signs.
know the signs.
Yeah.
That's why, I cannot thank you enough. And somebody maybe is going through it and they don't know. And since it's not a subject that is much talked about,
Yes.
you know, and yeah, maybe somebody who is listening to that radio uh, right now
Would see some of the
will see
signs
some,
that you've
yes.
mentioned.
And talking about it, actually, I decided to be public about it because, most of the time people don't talk about it.
They don't.
They keep it for themselves. And
I think the other thing too is, especially here, like we live in a very religious country.
yeah,
And so sometimes when you talk to people, and sometimes all you need is for somebody to listen to you, for you to get those words out.
absolutely.
And a lot of times when people listen, they feel they have to give some sort of answer,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just being a receptacle. Just let this person allow this out. Then they start, oh, God is there, everything is in the hands of God. And I think when people do that, it
Oh my
trivializes the
God.
situation.
It makes it worse
And so
because
people then don't want to open up.
yeah, society, people were just telling me, oh, you have to be thankful, you have to be happy,
You have to be
strong,
strong.
and but people don't realize that not when you are depressed, but when you are into depression, your brain do not function.
In the same way.
It doesn't function at all. It doesn't function. You can't. I mean, you look at somebody, you don't recognize that person. I did not speak for 2 weeks. I could not speak. My language was just gone. I lost weight, you know? And if, yeah.
How did this impact your family?
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
because I'm sure they were looking on helpless.
Yeah, completely helpless. But then, I was, how do I say, I'm a very stubborn person, and I know what I want, and I want it to be well.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a doctor, and a good doctor, who talked to my family and who told them, this is what's, at the beginning it was difficult for them because they could not understand.
Yes.
But then when they understood, they were definitely there.
But then that was somebody who's a professional who
Yeah.
understands this.
Yes.
Talking to
Yes.
them.
Because remember, our parents, African parents, depression is not part of.
No, you're supposed to just get on with it. So,
exactly.
what are you?
Exactly. What is this?
What
It's a white disease. It's a,
Yes.
that's how people call it. But they don't know what it is. So they have to be comfortable understanding.
Yeah.
And that I owe it to them.
Did they blame themselves in any way?
Yes. Afterwards, I think they did. When they understood, they did. They really did. Talking to my dad today, I mean, I know that he did. Yeah, but
that must have been terrible.
Very, because he told me, yeah. It was.
They're your parent and they can't do anything.
Oh,
to
absolutely.
help.
Yeah, absolutely. And during that whole time, the only thing that gave me a purpose was Saraya.
Yeah.
So Saraya is my safe place. It is my safe place.
And did it help you bring you out
Absolutely,
as well?
because when you are depressed, when you are into depression, you have no purpose. There is an end. There is just an end. It doesn't go beyond. It's over.
But that's really interesting because you say that, and yet that was your most wildly creative period. How do you juxtaposition those two things?
I mean, for some reason, I don't know how to explain that to you. For some reason, Saraya never left me.
Then
Never.
it's your destiny.
Yes, that was definitely my destiny. Like it never left me. It was here to tell me that it was okay. It was here to tell me, hey, what is the next stage? Hey, what do you have? What are the colors that you like? What have looking around me, the colors, everything that was it was just inspiring me. So it gave me a purpose. And I knew that Saya was just here to be here.
It's a bit like that shining light at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
It was
exactly.
there for you,
exactly.
waiting for you.
Exactly.
Do you think it would have been different if you hadn't gone through your depressive state?
If it wasn't for Saya, I think it would have taken much longer. Much longer.
I mean, in the sense that every time you fall, when you rise up with something more than if you'd had a straight plane.
Well, I would lie if I would tell that Saraya, it was the only thing that made me rise up. Of course, I have my doctor, I have my medication,
family,
of course, I have my family. And
that's interesting.
Yes.
So you need medication to help.
Absolutely, to help, go through that transition.
Yes.
And then
because depression actually messes with the whole chemical structure of your brain.
Completely. You don't even recognize yourself. Completely. And people of my family will tell me that, we did not. It wasn't you. It just was not you.
But within all that, Saya was right there.
Exactly. And that's why I say that depression, it's very strange what I'm going to tell you. It's the best thing that happened to me.
I would not say it was strange because I've heard this kind of thing
Yes.
when people have faced huge adversities, And once they've come out of it and they've been able to look back, they've said, without going through this experience,
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be here.
That was the best thing that has happened to me. I see life completely differently. Completely differently. And
Give an example.
gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought it was the end.
Yeah.
But the end, like I was not
When
going
you're
to make it. I was not going to
You
make it.
actually thought you were going to die
Yes,
from this?
yes, absolutely.
Die in what sense? From your own hand, or from you saying, I don't want to be on this planet
both.
anymore?
Definitely both. Definitely. It was painful. It was painful. But then I'm like, can you imagine? God gave you another chance.
Mm.
God gave you another chance.
You just have to grab
And
it.
I'm like, you have to grab it. You have to grab it. Yesterday, when the day before yesterday, when I lost my plane,
Mm-hmm.
I had to put into gratitude,
Yes.
to make it, to just get up and say, you know what, it's going to be okay. You should be grateful
Yes.
that you're still alive,
Yep.
and that you are
You
able
lived
to
another
take
day
exactly.
to...
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I really think this is going to be very beneficial for a lot of people. A lot
glad.
of people are going to be sitting there, myself even, where you just sit there and you think, these are... And even if people don't have the symptoms, I think they're going to research that it isn't this terrible thing that happens to bad people. It's just, it happens.
Exactly.
And if you're going into it, or you're in it, or you're on your way out of it, it's a process. Mm-hmm. And I think the fact that you coming out of it and seeing what you created and
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing, I think is really inspirational, because you can be depressed, you can be going through any kind of mental health issue, but these are people who have come out of it and they are flying.
Absolutely.
And missing their planes.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get quickly into it. Tell me first, what are you coming to do here tomorrow? What's happening tomorrow?
Okay. So I'm going to do a private sale, because I thought that coming all the way to Ghana, being invited to this radio,
Mm-hmm.
And people don't have a feel or a touch of the clothes. And that happens so many times,
Mm-hmm.
where I was invited to do, interview, and people would ask me, okay, so where can we see,
Yes.
and they did not have the opportunity to go and see, or even buy, if they wanted to. So I thought, I have to do something.
So you brought a collection with you?
I bought a collection, yeah.
Uh-huh.
I bought a collection, and people will have, the possibility to see.
Let me just say, Joe, do we have some of her pieces that wow, tell me about this one. Because there's something about it that also looks Southern African to me.
Yes. Oh, people told me a lot. People told me, Southern Africa.
Yeah.
People told me, it really fits everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You will notice that, and the dress name is Matari, and all of the,
all the pieces have names.
have African names.
Mm-hmm.
I would say 99% of them.
Mm-hmm.
And you will notice all the colors, the red and the
Yellow
is hand woven in Senegal.
Okay. What is the actual outfit itself made from?
So, I'm still into my tradi modern combination.
Mm-hmm.
So you have elements that are coming all, like, everywhere, in the world, but the identity of the brand lays into the African element that are put on.
How do you source your materials?
Most of my materials, I would say 90% of them comes from Senegal.
Okay.
But Senegal, and especially the hand-woven fabric,
Yes,
is African,
mm-hmm.
because we do it in Senegal, we do it in Burkina, we do it in the whole West African side.
Yes, Mali.
So yeah, so it really is an African,
Yes.
brand,
And an African
and
fabric.
African fabric. Yeah,
Because it's woven
absolutely,
here.
absolutely. And you have other pieces that are coming from around the world, because Senegal is a fashion destination.
Yes.
So the most beautiful fabric, and there, the end life of that's where they go. Yeah. So Senegal is very diverse in terms of fabric, and you have a lot. And I saw somebody, this woman from Rwanda. I remember her. I don't remember her name. That was like 8 years ago, and she's a fashion designer. And everything that she bought for her company, she went to Senegal. And
you have a lot of cotton growing there, don't you?
We do, but unfortunately, African cotton is not processed in Africa, unfortunately. But using the hand woven, is part of my aim,
That makes it. That's the high.
Yes.
It's a high-end product.
Absolutely.
Because it's not a mass-produced.
It is, and that's what people don't understand, because having a high, and that's another subject that I will keep to talk about, without the challenges of how
Well, I suppose the thing is, I mean, even the same thing. When I went to your website, the first thing I thought, this stuff must be damned expensive.
Yes.
When you're looking at it, and then I was thinking, but the point is, there are a lot of people with a lot of money in Africa. Even though we always think of it on the low end of things, but the high end, there's a huge market.
I mean, you definitely have some people who will understand your brand, your price point.
Yes.
But a lot of them won't. And these people will buy expensive, outside, of the continent. But then when it comes to whatever Africa can do, because we think that Africa does things that are cheap. That's I'm talking about my experience. Because absolutely, because people will tell me, oh, who does she think she is, oh yes, oh yeah, and but you will go to other places, people will tell me, oh, your prices are low, be careful, your prices are very low for what you are doing.
Yes.
Because it's very exclusive. Some other people do understand. I have a bunch of lot of lovely women, like, who support me.
Women?
Oh, absolutely, African women, especially here in Ghana. Because especially here in Ghana, I have friends who have reached out to their contact, and people who, I mean, it's not the first time I'm selling, because some people will order, because it's an international brand, and people go either on the website or they can order. But that's definitely one of the challenge, but it's starting to pick up, absolutely. And now Africa is really I wouldn't say the next frontier. It is right now. Africa is now.
It is the frontier.
The frontier, and yeah, a lot of things are being done. The mentality are changing. Yeah.
So your show tomorrow, where is it happening at? Tell us about it. Tell us how people. Is it a private thing? Can you only come by invitation?
Yes, it's a definitely it is a private thing.
Okay.
But it's true. Like my friend will invite their friends to come.
So it's I get it. It's one of those, not like a party, but it's a kind of like a soiree thing where there's a select group of people. There will be some drinks and a few knickknacks, and they will see all the beautiful fashion.
It is actually, I mean, it is a private sale, but it's because I'm with the COVID, I'm trying to be, so it's going to be basically all day, from 10 to 8.
And then of course people will come in to follow the protocols.
Exactly, and eventually I will eventually leave you if it's possible, to put it on your site, my contact, for people who could
definitely.
RSVP.
Yes.
And because it's not open to the public, but we can
by invitation.
by invitation, because we have to be careful
with
because
the
of
numbers,
yes
course.
with the numbers. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And so what's the name of your collection that you brought? Like
Anzinga.
Anzinga.
Anzinga is a woman warrior that from Angola, who fought for a long time, for the liberation of her country from the colonizers.
You're going to have a Yasantua range.
Oh yeah, well, you know what? I'm open.
Yeah.
I'm definitely open. Yeah, absolutely.
There's another thing, like the piece that you're wearing now. Immediately, Michael Jackson came to mind because it has that. Michael Jackson and even Janet Jackson.
Yes.
I had that kind of Rhythm Nation thing going on.
It's like an officer jacket. My dad is a military. He's a general.
Oh.
I have always been. I have been raised. His kids have been raised by him because my mom was gone.
Okay.
At a very early age.
So you're military.
So yeah,
military
definitely. And the name of the jacket is Chedo.
Uh-huh.
Chedo is the name of a warrior in Senegal that also fought for, against, colonization. And to me, a woman, because of her resilience and for my story, I'm a warrior for everything that I've been going through
and doing.
So yeah.
When somebody buys a piece, because obviously when you name the pieces, it's very important details. Does the item come with maybe a little something with a write-up about?
Yeah, like this, we are still working on it, and I have just been. There is a fund, a woman investment fund, who has accepted to support my brand. Yes.
Amazing.
Yep. And recently, since last October, and they are going to support me, financially, and all the other needs that I have, and this is included because it is so much work.
Yes.
So much work, because I was doing everything by myself before, and it was just impossible. Impossible.
But usually entrepreneurs, that's how you start until you meet somebody who just totally zones in, understands what you're doing, and then you get the help.
It is part of it. And on the website, when you go on the website, Saraya Shop. It is not Saraya Fashion. It is Saraya Shop. I don't know if you got the right one. Yeah. Saraya.shop.com. No, Saraya.shop. You go there and you'll have the whole background, of the brand. Yep.
It's absolutely amazing. Each piece is amazing. I'm just wondering, where do you wear something like this to?
So I have
like this beautiful yellow one that just passed.
Yes, like cocktails, wedding. You can actually wear it with jeans.
Literally, literally, you just go and take over the whole place because everybody's eyes would just be on you.
Yeah. So you can dress it up. You can dress it down.
As you said, with jeans.
Yes, with jeans or just a dress underneath. I mean, you will be amazed by how many things you can combine it with. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's high end, but you can sort of dress it down, as you said, with some jeans or leggings, but then you can push it even further.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do you get the ideas from? Obviously, all this stuff I'm looking at, like this one here and what you're wearing, now that you've explained your father's military background, I understand that influence. And then the geometric patterning that I see throughout.
Yeah, because when you actually look at an officer jacket, it kinds of look
Yes.
Yeah, it kinds of
And is this a theme that goes through? I mean, this is a warrior theme that goes through your work.
It is often a reminder, but I also want to put out femininity. Femininity is, to me, very important, and you will see in all my pieces, no matter how if I should say, masculine, a piece can be, there you will always see some kind of femininity coming out of it. I like putting out, woman shape and
Yes.
and this is very important where, the curves are important.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this one that we're looking at right now, I mean, for me, something like that, you could wear it with a very nice sort of flowy
Oh
skirt.
my God, you got that.
But then you could wear it with leather pants
Oh
or
my
with
goodness.
jeans.
Absolutely.
And
You got the idea.
You just rock it, and it's like, it's very sexy. And even though it's military like, whatever, for me, I think that's very feminine.
Absolutely. But if you can even wear it with a tight dress. With a tight dress underneath.
Yes.
Underneath, or a tight skirt. You just wear it underneath and you put the jacket on top.
Yeah.
With high heels.
Yes.
I mean, oh yeah. As I said,
This is the brand you wear if you can afford Le Bouton.
Exactly, Le Bouton. Yes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what would you like to tell our listeners out there before we wrap up? I mean, we could have continued this conversation all day, but unfortunately I have a short space of time.
No, of course. No,
I'm sure you've also got a lot of things to do today in preparation for your show.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I would tell them is, especially, I gave my words about, depression, of course, talk about it, if you are going through it, or even if you don't know you are not going through it, and the symptoms that I gave are similar.
Beginning to manifest,
Yeah, that's number one. Number two, entrepreneurship in Africa, for those who want to do that but have never had, the courage because of the context or whatever. Don't just go ahead to it, because, you have to be yourself before being anybody else.
Well, you can only be yourself.
Absolutely.
You can't be anybody
Absolutely.
else.
And don't hesitate. Go, jump, be passionate. If you are passionate about it, just go and do it. Yeah, that's really what I'm going to say, because, I couldn't be in a better place. Honestly, with all I've been through, I couldn't be in a better place.
I think it's a great, not say advert, but it's a great inspiration for everybody to talk about something that we often try and hide. So I think you've done us a huge service with this, talking to us, opening up about this. And thank you so much for coming. Your clothes are beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely stunning. The fabrics, the colors, absolutely amazing. As I said, we could have continued talking and talking.
Yes.
So our show is coming to the end. I actually started off with a proverb, which was, he who does not know one thing knows another.
Absolutely.
I've learned so much from you today.
Thank you.
And I'm sure our listeners have learned a lot. So I think everybody needs to take the opportunity to learn things from anybody that they meet, because you're always going to learn something new. I learned so much. And funnily enough, I was saying earlier, I've learned from all my guests.
Yes.
I've had incredible people on this show.
Absolutely.
Okay, so thank you, Safiétou. Thank you so much for coming, and I know your show is going to be amazing tomorrow.
I'm sure.
And you are going to, this is my prediction for you, you are going to return to Senegal with an empty suitcase.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully, I hope so. Thank you so much for having me, and every time I talk about it, I talk about this, my brand, it's liberating.
Yes.
So I think I have met my objective.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.